Media.
Oh, boy howdy. Boy,
Woo.
Goodness gracious, Jiminy Christmas. Behind the Bastards, back yet again with our friend Jason Petty, a.k.a. Prop. Jason, I'm doing the thing that I do sometimes, or at least I did the thing while we were on our break, and I was eating some scrambled eggs with dried chanterelles. Delightful breakfast. It is 2:43 in the afternoon. Where I was like looking at Facebook, which I do about once a week. It's a bad thing to do, but there's like family and friends from years ago that I haven't seen in 15 years that it's the only way I know of making sure they're all still alive without actually talking to them. And God knows I'm not going to do that. And
absolutely not.
Whenever you hop onto the old Facebook, you get a bunch of fascinating ads. And I got one today from the Daily Wire people for Jeremy's Razors, which they...
For who's?
Jeremy's
the razors.
Yeah, which are not woke. Don't buy from a razor brand that razors, hates you. Yeah. I don't think any razor brand hates me.
Don't buy these critical race theory.
These are razors are not for women. They're for conservative men. And that's convinced me, Prop. You know, look, this is silly and shameless, but also, look, I like money as much as the next guy. So what if I try to get into the opposite side of this business, right? But instead of like razors, that's lame. That's not a thing anyone associates with ideology. Not really. I want to take products that are traditionally associated with a political ideology in this country and then find a way to sell it to the opposite side of the population, because that's how you make a lot of money. So, for example, I'm going to start manufacturing and selling an AR-15 that we only sell to people who in the last week have cried at a sunrise.
I feel like
that's a woke gun. Yeah.
I feel like you're leaving money on the table by not doing this. Like this should have happened.
It's too good a business. It's too good a
2
business.
seasons ago. We should have been selling woke weapons. For a long time.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Reproduction German military gear that we only sell to people who have volunteered at a soup kitchen that week, right? You know,
you have to have
gotta prove it to us.
Listen, you had to have cried white tears. At some point, you know what I'm saying? Like you said, served at a soup kitchen. Right. You feel me? You like at some point you've yelled at a Karen. Like you had to have had put in your work to prove that you're a comrade. No, I'm with it.
Yeah. Go volunteer at the border and you too can buy a Volkswagen Type 166 Schwimmenwagen. I do actually want one of those. It's one of those cars you can drive in the water.
Those cars are pretty dope.
They're pretty cool. Yeah. Look, it's not the car's fault. It's not the car's fault.
It's not the car's fault. But shout out to all our Kaibigans, since we're going to be talking to our Kaibigans.
This is an iHeart podcast. Guaranteed human.
Hi, listeners. I'm Anna Sinfield, the host of the Girlfriend Spotlight, and I've got some great interviews coming your way. I'm also excited to tell you that you can now get access to all episodes of season 1, 2, 3, and 4 of The Girlfriends, and every single episode of The Girlfriend Spotlight 100% ad-free, and 1 week early through the iHeart True Crime Plus subscription, available exclusively on Apple Podcasts. Plus, you'll get access to other chart-topping true crime shows you love, like Betrayal, Paper Ghosts, Piketon Massacre, The Brothers Ortiz, What Happened in Nashville, Hell and Gone, The Godmother, and more. So don't wait. Head to Apple Podcasts, search for iHeart True Crime Plus, and subscribe today.
This is Ryder Strong, and I have a new podcast called The Red Weather. In 1995, my neighbor, Anna Trainer, disappeared from a commune.
It was nature and trees and praying and drugs.
So no, I am not your guru.
And back then, I lied to everybody.
They have had this case for 30 years.
I'm going back to my hometown to uncover the truth. Listen to The Red Weather on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
You know Roald Dahl. He thought up Willy Wonka and the BFG. But did you know he was a spy? In the new podcast, The Secret World of Roald Dahl, I'll tell you that story and much, much more.
What?
You probably won't believe it either.
Was this before he wrote his stories? It must have been.
Okay, I don't think that's true.
I'm telling you, the guy was a spy.
Listen to The Secret World of Roald Dahl on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Then she says, have you seen a photo of my son? And I'm like, who is this person?
Welcome to the Boys and Girls Podcast. Arranged marriage is basically a reality show, and you're auditioning for your soulmate. And who's judging? Only your entire family. I sacrificed myself to this ancient tradition, hoping to find love the right way. And instead, I found chaos, comedy, and a lot of cringe. Listen to Boys and Girls on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey everyone, it's Emily Simpson and Shane Simpson from the Legally Brunette podcast.
Each week, we're bringing you true crime through a legal lens.
Whether you want all the facts on the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie, or you still need to wrap your head around the Diddy verdict, we're breaking it all down step by step.
And we're not just lawyers, we're also husband and wife. It makes for some pretty entertaining episodes.
Listen to Legally Brunette on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
We're back talking about, Apollo Quiboloy.
Talking about people.
In the last episode, I explained that Apollo had named himself the appointed son of God. As he drew in more followers and his church expanded into a multinational cult, the story he told about himself expanded too. He began claiming to his followers that God had visited his mother in the form of a cloud to declare Apollo his son, which is arguably nicer than the way, Prop, you probably have a better memory of this. That seems nicer than how he told Mary and Joseph.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You know, that's the angel showing up while you was a virgin. Like, just really like, if you marry, you like, yo, this is a real heavy lift, dog. Mm-hmm. Like, can you tell Joseph? You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. Then you're making peace with, like, I'm about to have a kid, and also it's God's.
Sir, listen,
I didn't even get to do the good part.
Listen, Joseph, I love you. Mm-hmm. I love you. I swear to God, this child is God's.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of God, he's got something to say
Speaking
here,
of God,
Now, I don't know, cloud, that seems nice, soothing. While Apollo had started his career as just another Pentecostal preacher, when he broke away and declared himself the new son of God, he also declared, and this is classic cult leader form, that all other churches on earth are invalid, fundamentally broken institutions.
They're all heretics.
Now, he's got an interesting reason for this, Prop, which is that every other Christian church on earth is bad because they all embrace the concept of the Trinity. And this is a little wonky. I'm curious for your take on this because I'm not.
Talk to me about this.
People, so now we've had a lot of wars over this. Yeah, I think so. Yes, in Quiboloy's, yes.
Okay.
The Trinity denies the oneness of God because it suggests that He is God's Son is somehow separate and less divine than God Himself. Yes. I think that's the point.
No, you got
making.
It.
Yeah.
There's that's actually like, so if there are all 4 black people that listen to this show, so TD Jakes, right? TD Jakes is a oneness Pentecostal. I wish y'all could see. Oh yeah, it's a video show. Y'all see how they laugh.
Mm-hmm. I just died.
Oh man, but yeah, TD Jakes is like a oneness Pentecostal, and like that's kind of a thing to be like, and then to argue that like the term Trinity is not in the Bible, like that's something that came much later to describe what theologians call the triune God, being one in essence, expressed in 3 different persons. And but the idea that they're actually 3 separate persons is not biblical. Oneness Pentecostal. So if you believe in the Trinity, you're clearly not reading the Bible.
Yeah, you've gotten taken in by like a cult, right?
Yes.
As opposed to the cult that Apollo has created.
Is actually the cult. Listen to the man of God that's sleeping with your daughter. Yes.
I mean, very much literally listen to the man, because we're going to play a segment from a documentary about the church here so you can see him explain this in his own words.
Oh my God, I can't wait. Hold on. Let me
get
my puso in saging. Let me get my let me get my spam and rice, you know what I'm saying, and my spoon, and eating my rice with the ketchup. I'm just doing a whole lot of Filipino stuff.
Fire right now.
It's phenomenal.
Mm-hmm. Hawaiian too. Mm-hmm.
We are in, as I said, 78 countries and 78 nationalities.
Ilan pong miyembro niyo ngayon?
Conservatively, mga 3 million.
I'll just clarify, Pastor, this is not a religion.
Hindi religion to. Isa siyang movement dahil may kilusan kami talaga sa buong sanlibutan. Pero you look deeper, it's a spiritual work.
for me, again, as someone with a Filipino stepmom, this accent is very warm. So hearing both of them speak very thick, like with a thick Tagalog, it's like, it's just warm to me. So I still smile when I hear the accent, even though I know he's about to talk about something crazy.
Well, good news. We got some more stuff that's going to make you smile here.
It's not the religion. Like, okay.
Yeah, I do love that. You get that a lot. That's like a very American thing too. And like, especially like an American Pentecostal thing where like, Christianity, our Christianity is not a religion, right?
It's a relationship.
So when we talk about these kind of pastor bastards, which is actually, I haven't said it
wait
that
a
way
minute
before, but that's fun. That's a lot of fun.
Did you wait? Was that
pastor
off the
bastards.
head?
Yeah, that just hit. I'd written it, but I hadn't realized how fun it was to say.
Oh my God, pastor bastards, bro!
Pastor bastards.
This is you have just created you've just expanded the Behind the Bastards universe, and you have created a subgenre.
Pastor bastards.
We have pastor bastards. You just create. Oh my God! I witnessed history made right now.
Yeah, this is a crack has gone down into the center of the earth from that,
dude.
Maybe I'll do another pastor
was just
soon.
created.
Ooh, I could do
that?
Mithra. Yeah, I
like
want to do Mithra. Yeah,
No.
yeah.
I'm trying to speak.
Let's take her down a peg. It's been like 10,000 years. It's time.
Yeah.
So I always try to find an example of like a pastor bastard talking, right? Preaching, because I you just kind of have to see it. And I think this clip from his one of his all-time hits, this is his White album, a sermon called Soaring as an Eagle in the Dimension of Faith.
Come on, fam.
That's a title. That gives you an idea of two key things: how very American the way he preaches is, and how focused his sermons are on the subject of Apollo Quiboloy being pretty fucking cool.
Where is the state of innocence? You don't think evil of me anymore. You don't think negative of me anymore. You don't judge me according to your own human three-dimensional perspective anymore. You look at me as you look at yourself. You became spiritual. That's why you look at me spiritually. The way you look at me is the way you are. How many of you think I am the most spiritual person on earth? That is now who you are.
Amazing room. That's a good room.
Amazing.
That's a good room.
That is the most Pentecostal.
How many percent do you trust me? Those who trusted me and believed in me until now, 100% raise your hands. That's how you are in the sight of the Father.
Wow. I love that. What percent? I really want to drill down on this.
Y'all,
not just do you trust me, but let's get some numbers out here. We got to quantify.
The notes, this guy is playing, I mean, this is Felonious Monk level notes. He's playing like this dude.
Beautiful.
I am, first of all, y'all,
huge fan.
Like, huge fan. No notes. But like, there's some stuff missing here. Like, for some reason, Pentecostals believe because purple is the color of royalty. So when you walk into a lot of black churches, it's going to be purple everywhere, right? The fact that you already... Do you notice the color of the Chiron on the bottom? You know what I'm saying? So there's that, right? The white is the holiness. And if you can see in the thing right now, what color that man tie? What color is that man's tie in the cloud? You understand what's happening right now? He playing notes, y'all. Oh, I'm so excited. How do I not know this man? I'm so mad I don't already know this man.
I have an unfortunate note on the purple thing, Prop, which is that about a year or so ago, maybe I was on some gas station drugs.
Robert.
Maybe I wasn't entirely sober. I was buying sheets for myself. And I bought what I thought was going to be a very nice, like, dark purple. And to make a long story short, my entire bed has these eucalyptus sheets that I can only describe as the inside of a pimpscape. I actually just replaced them today because there was a hole in them, but it was like one of those mistakes where it's like, well, I can't return these.
And
this is just a mistake.
And are these
just a terrible mistake?
Are they
silk?
Yeah.
No. These ones were eucalyptus, which I don't buy. Eucalyptus. It ages for shit.
Yeah.
Not like silk where it can hold up, you know?
If you had silk purple, like your new name.
I know.
We would have to change you'd have to have a pimp name. Your name is, Small Change Robbie, Small Change Willie from Philly. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Jason, I would have already been indicted on racketeering.
Absolutely. You'd already have a RICO. There'd be no way I would question all of my interactions with you. After going to the Portland crib, I would be like, you know what? I'm seeing all this much differently now.
Should we play the next clip?
We should.
Please.
And
yes.
What's... yeah, Sophie, just take it. Just take it.
How many of you trust me only 50%? Raise your hands. Don't be ashamed. If you trust me 50% only, that is who you are. You cannot trust yourself. Your trust is only 50% to yourself. And the 50% you cannot trust yourself. So, the ownership of you is 50% to God and 50% to the devil. That cannot be because there is no fellowship between light and darkness.
And darkness, yep. I already knew where he was going.
Owns all of you, or the devil owns all of you.
That's a good preacher voice right there.
There should be no partnership. If it is 50-50,
he preaching.
There is partnership between God and the devil.
Nope.
50% is mine, 50% is yours. Let us profit sharing. No profit sharing in the ownership of the universe and in humanity.
That's right.
Either the devil owns all of you and then counts the true owner and claims ownership 100%, all of you or none of them.
Man, listen.
He's not bad at what he does. He's not bad at what he does.
He's doing it. Listen, where
what
light
he does
is,
bad,
darkness
but he's
cannot
not
abide.
bad at what he does. Yeah.
Yes, where light is, darkness cannot abide. Either you belong to Jesus or your soul belong to Satan. So if you trust me, man, boy, and he keeps saying it's in the spirit. Yeah. It's in the spirit.
It's in the spirit.
Listen, like there's a running joke about like Merce talks about it too, like with underground rappers, how everything is like lyrically. So I'm like, I'm going to lyrically murder your mom. Like, so if you just throw lyrically in front of it, it's fine.
It's fine. It's like doing it in Roblox.
Yeah, right? Exactly. Lyrically.
The feds can't crack that one.
Exactly. So like, what do you mean lyrically? I murdered your daughter lyrically, right? So for him to be like, it's in the spirit. It's in the spirit. It's like if whatever you trust in the spirit is who you are on earth as it is in heaven. Boy, he cooking. That man is cooking.
He's
and them just being like, yes, amen. Like,
yeah. That's a professional. You got to give him that.
He doing it. And then
you shouldn't give him much because again, pedophile. But he knows what he's doing when he gets up on a fucking pulpit. Yeah.
He is.
Now that he's been arrested, Sophie, do you think we could buy that room, like his compound, and just kind of move the podcast over to the Philippines? Broadcast from Mount Apo, maybe slowly start a cult.
Does it come with the outfit?
The fit's got to come with it.
I feel like there's a decent. I feel like it's probably pretty affordable to get stuff tailored in the Philippines.
A TBN in the Philippines.
Would you wear the outfit?
I don't think I'd have a choice in that room. Well, that's a room you wear a white suit in.
You have to wear a white suit.
Like,
there.
I'm not opposed.
We'll have to reach out to the menswear guy, but I kind of think that's a pretty good fit. Like, he's not a bad fitting suit.
Yeah.
I'm not an expert on these things.
Kind of a no-brainer. If you're doing that, you got to do that.
Then
bro, listen, now that I see it, he's firing on all cylinders. Like
he knows what he's up to.
Now, firing on every. Thank you for giving me a fun episode.
Oh yeah, I did think, aside from the horrible sex trafficking.
Yeah, besides that, I'm just saying.
It's a little more fun than Thomas Jefferson, at least.
Yeah. Thomas Jefferson and the Lost Cause.
Yeah. Now,
anyway.
As we've noted, a key aspect of the theology that he's cobbled together here is the idea that all other forms of authority are invalid, not just other churches, but other political institutions. Now, this is not so unique among cult leaders, but the way he came to explain these beliefs to his people, I do find interesting. In short, followers of KOJC are their own nation. Right? Which by the early 2000s is at least 3 million strong. And they should have no other allegiances and certainly had no responsibility to follow the petty laws of whatever country they happen to be in.
Oh, hey, we're part of the kingdom. Like,
we're part
what are
of
you
the
talking
kingdom.
about?
That's a nation of followers, of believers.
I'm in the kingdom, a holy
Mm-hmm.
nation, a joint heirs. I'm a part of the kingdom of God. I am not of this world. I don't have to obey the laws of man. Yeah.
We make our own license plates and driver's licenses.
Let's go.
Now, you can get an idea of how this was transmitted to his followers by visiting the Kingdom of Jesus Christ website, which on the day I visited looked like this.
You're gonna lose
So you can
it.
see, you can see like a lot of purple, as you noted. And there's a couple of different quotes on it. One, I will not succumb to the temptation of being weak. I will stand and defend my obedience to the Father's will. And then words of the Son, which is Apollo.
Yes,
in whatever situation and circumstance you find yourself in, remain loyal to him, even unto death. Him clearly being Apollo.
Yeah.
That does look like a guy, because this got put up on the website as he was being like basically hemmed in by law enforcement before his arrest. That does look like a guy trying to do a Branch Davidian.
Yeah, totally.
You know?
Yeah.
Like that's a guy trying to Waco. You know?
Y'all got me, right? Like, you remember, it's us till the wheels fall off.
And that's, I'm torn on this because obviously I can't go to bat for this man. He's a sex criminal, but also, our motto at this podcast, ABW, always be Wacoing.
Oh my God.
Listen,
not for the bad reasons, Sophie.
There are redeeming qualities.
I just feel like I got a really nice break from Robert bringing up Waco all the time, and I feel like that streak is now broken.
I was always bringing it up in my heart. So
I know, but like I didn't have to hear that.
See, I was living a lie because 50% of my heart was for Waco and 50% of it was for this show, and that means that none of it was for Waco, right? And Elron. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Maybe the same math doesn't work for me.
I feel it. It's because it's in the spirit. It's in the spirit.
It's in the spirit.
It's 150 is still 100 in the spirit.
Mm-hmm.
Lyrically.
Yeah. L. Ron Hubbard and
yeah.
Taylor, what is it? Taylor, who the fuck was the Taylor in that Waco show, Sophie?
It was the handsome man from Friday Night Lights. What's his name? I got you. Hold on.
Yeah, he's the finest. He the finest David Koresh.
Him and L. Ron Hubbard playing a rock concert as the FBI burns the building down.
It's Taylor Kitsch.
Taylor Kitsch. I knew there was a name, and not Taylor Hanson. Who the fuck am I thinking?
I don't know who Taylor Kitsch is.
It's that weird right-wing freak. I don't know. It was a Taylor. I'm sorry, Taylor Kitsch. I'm also sorry, David Koresh. Anyway, when it came to the laws that most vexed the Son of God, the very top of the list was restrictions on immigration, because his cult had brought him tremendous wealth and he'd spent some of it on a private jet, a mansion in... Prop, what city in California you think he picked for his mansion in Southern California?
He picked Beverly Hills.
Calabasas.
Same.
Calabasas. Okay.
Yeah.
Same, but old money, new money. Sorry.
Yeah, very much. Yeah. Yeah, the Valley.
Now
that's the Valley's. That's the Valley's Beverly Hills. Yeah.
Right. Now he wanted to be able to bring his pastorals with him for but the U.S. Immigration Service does not take "I want to have a sex slave" as a valid reason to hand out a work visa. So on or about 1998, the KOJC founded the Children's Joy Foundation, and boy, I don't like that name.
Oh my God.
That's rough. That one's rough.
Yeah.
The stated goal of the CJF was providing, quote, children in the Philippines with various residential services, medical, psychosocial, educational support to harness their potential in community and nation building. Now, I cannot tell you if the CJF ever had a real purpose that resembled this, but by 2007, Apollo had hit upon the idea of using it as a way to hide the movement of large numbers of followers, particularly young female followers, across borders and into the United States. CJF was registered as a nonprofit 501c3 in the state of California with an office in Glendale, and he began bringing in workers from the Philippines. A federal indictment alleges that these workers spent long hours illegally soliciting money for KOJC outside of businesses across the United States. KOJC administrators also imposed mandatory daily cash solicitation quotas on such KOJC workers. At the direction of KOJC administrators, the KOJC workers represented to the public that donated money would be used by CJF to help impoverished children, when in fact the money directly financed KOJC operations and the lavish lifestyle of KOJC leaders, in particular Apollo. So these were large numbers of followers brought to the U.S. from the Philippines who would solicit, stand outside of businesses and shops and ask for money for poor kids in the Philippines. With like photos of suffering children, information about how much your money could help them. And all of that money was being used either to just like pay for these mansions or literally to directly pay for the system by which he imported young women and girls in order to molest them. Like that was paid for by these donations to help poor kids in the Philippines. That's what the CJF was.
Yeah. God, that.
Yeah. It's hideous.
Oh, God.
To get these non-immigrant visas, Apollo's top lieutenants who managed the scheme falsified visa applications to claim that the workers were needed to help run concerts. In order to keep their workers legal once they entered the country, they next obtained student visas and forced them to attend minimal course loads at local colleges in order to maintain their status. According to the indictment, these students would attend college 1 day per week and then spend the remainder of their week soliciting for church funds. So, hey, at least they get a little bit of an education.
Yeah, man. You be a nurse like Tita Rose, but like...
Yeah. It's going to take you a while to get your nursing degree on 1 day a week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dang, man.
Speaking of a nursing degree, if you just want to become a nurse, buy any of the products and services that support our podcast, and you will be hired. You can learn on the job, most of that kind of stuff. Like setting an IV, easy. Yeah. No problem. Surgical aid, assistant, fine. Right? No problem at all. All kind of stuff that you learn on the job. Just figure it out, right?
The truth is some stuff you just can't learn in the classroom. Like you have to do it.
Like what medicine does. Yeah. Just try it,
Listen.
That's what I do is I just buy medicine, give it to people, see how it works.
Doctors they're detectives. They're detectives. They're not scientists.
Exactly.
They're
detectives. How many Tylenol can you put in a person's cake and what does it do to them, right? These are all questions that medical science has answered thanks to me,
Yep.
For myself. Anyway, here's ads.
Almost 30 years together, 4 kids, and some of reality TV's most unforgettable moments, we know a thing or two about living life out loud. We're taking you behind the scenes in our new podcast, Between Us, with me, Heather Dubrow.
And me, Terry Dubrow. Between Us isn't about perfect lighting or curated Instagram grids.
It's the unfiltered, behind-closed-doors conversations you wish you could eavesdrop on. Equal parts smart, funny, and a little bit scandalous.
Every week, Heather will bring you an unapologetic take on the headlines, the trends, and the cultural moments everyone's texting about.
And Terry will deliver insider beauty, health, and wellness insights you won't find on TikTok.
Together, we'll tell the stories, spill the secrets, and share the hacks that keep life, marriage, and everything in between feeling fresh and fun.
We may live in a gated community, but there's zero gatekeeping here.
And plenty of, did they just say that moments?
Listen to Between Us on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Segregation in the day, integration at night.
When segregation was the law, one mysterious black club owner had his own rules.
We didn't worry about what went on outside. It was like stepping in another world.
Inside Charlie's Place, black and white people danced together. But not everyone was happy about it.
You saw the KKK?
Yeah, they was dressed up in their uniform.
The KKK set out to raid Charlie, take him away from here.
Charlie was an example of power. They had to crush him.
From Atlas Obscura, Rococo Punch, and Visit Myrtle Beach comes Charlie's Place, a story that was nearly lost to time. Until now. Listen to Charlie's Place on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Usually on This Podcast Will Kill You, we talk about the diseases, infections, and biological threats that can make us really sick.
But right now, we're doing something a little different.
We're stepping back and looking at what the human body needs to keep going.
When you consider what we know about sleep in humans, there's one rule that comes out. We are predictably unpredictable sleepers.
We're talking about why sleep works the way it does, why our bodies don't follow neat rules, and why modern life makes rest so hard to come by.
The second half of our series takes us to the digestive system with a multi-part series on what happens after we eat. Okay, I just have to say that all of my favorite words apparently are digestive words.
Sphincter, peristalsis, duodenum. It's fascinating, it's funny, and it matters so much more than you think.
Episodes of our new series run from January 20th through February 17th, with new episodes every Tuesday on the Exactly Right Network.
Listen to This Podcast Will Kill You as part of the Exactly Right Network on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Segregation in the day, integration at night.
When segregation was the law, one mysterious black club owner had his own rules.
We didn't worry about what went on outside. It was like stepping in another world.
Inside Charlie's Place, black and white people danced together. But not everyone was happy about it.
You saw the KKK?
Yeah, they was dressed up in their uniform.
The KKK set out to raid Charlie, take him away from here.
Charlie was an example of power. They had to crush him.
From Atlas Obscura, Rococo Punch, and Visit Myrtle Beach comes Charlie's Place, a story that was nearly lost to time. Until now. Listen to Charlie's Place on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
You know Roald Dahl, the writer who thought up Willy Wonka, Matilda, and the BFG. But did you know he was also a spy?
Was this before he wrote his stories? It must have been.
Our new podcast series, The Secret World of Roald Dahl, is a wild journey through the hidden chapters of his extraordinary, controversial life. His job was literally to seduce the wives of powerful Americans.
What?
And he was really good at it. You probably won't believe it either.
Okay, I don't think that's true.
I'm telling you, the guy was a spy. Did you know Dahl got cozy with the Roosevelts, played poker with Harry Truman, and had a long affair with a congresswoman? And then he took his talents to Hollywood, where he worked alongside Walt Disney and Alfred Hitchcock before writing a hit James Bond film. How did this secret agent wind up as the most successful children's author ever? And what darkness from his covert past seeped into the stories we read as kids? The true story is stranger than anything he ever wrote. Listen to The Secret World of Roald Dahl on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
I did just have a nice Tylenol cake prop, you know?
Yeah, man.
A lot of people don't know this. Mm-hmm.
Are you now busog? That means full.
Probably.
That means full in Tagalog. Yeah.
I'm full, and the man doesn't want you to know this. The woke liberal media won't tell you this. But the more, if you eat enough Tylenol, you become superhuman. It's like eating a bunch of those Zyn pouches, right? When you mix enough nicotine and Tylenol, then you gain the ability to see through the matrix, which I have done. And all it took was vomiting up blood a couple of months in a row.
I figured that. What is that new, it's like the new, the little chew pouches that come in little white pouches that you put in your jaw. Look like little gum cheek
lays. Yeah, that's like the Zins, right?
Is that what they call Zins?
Yeah, I think that's what that be.
Yeah, I was like, man, y'all love them. And I could see you mixing that with some Tylenol and being a superhuman, and now you can like fly fish better than everybody.
Right, yeah. Fly fishing seems like the thing you'd gain the ability to do for that. Sure.
Yep.
He's not fly fishing, prop.
No,
or
he's
if
not.
he is, I'm not really interested in it. He is sex trafficking.
He is being disgusting.
Yeah. So, if the whole go to college one day a week and then solicit funds for the KOJC was too complex or expensive, there was another way to allow his followers to stay in the U.S. as long as he needed them, which was to fuck with who they were married to, right? Apollo would simply order followers to marry, because he's got churches now in Southern California, he would order his U.S. followers sometimes to divorce their existing spouses and then to marry a Filipino follower so they could immigrate to the country under a marriage visa. One of his chief lieutenants, Duenas, was responsible for organizing divorces for the followers selected for this duty who happened to be married already. Now, setting up, that's fucked up.
If your pastor calls you into the office and say, hey, son, I think the Lord has given me
time to split
a vision.
I don't think this is working out.
Yeah, I think the Lord wants you to marry her. And I don't think that woman is the one that God chose for you. That is not your Ruth. You are not his Boaz. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, word? Okay.
Yeah.
I thought we wasn't supposed to divorce. Didn't Jesus say we wasn't supposed to divorce?
Yeah, but not if the pastor needs more money, right?
Yes.
That's in there. One of the translations. King James just missed it, but one of the earlier translations nailed it.
Is God still speaking? The Lord spoke in the past, and he's still speaking now. He's speaking through his prophet now. And he's telling you to divorce.
One of the Dead Sea Scrolls is just about 501c3s.
Yes, I'm telling you, man.
So, setting up sham relationships is not light work. As the indictment notes, quote, defendants Duenas and De Leon, who are two of his high-up assistants, would prepare and file divorce paperwork on behalf of the KOJC workers, sometimes without the knowledge or consent of the KOJC worker. In order to manufacture the appearance of legitimacy for the fraudulent marriages, defendant Duenas would possess ATM cards to show immigration authorities that KOJC workers in the fraudulent marriages had joint banking accounts, and defendants, two of the other defendants, would possess male and female wedding rings for KOJC workers to use during fraudulent marriage ceremonies. They only bought 2. This is such a bargain bin human trafficking operation. Look, we only need 2 rings. We're going to pass these fuckers around.
Yeah, hey. Who got the rings today? Hey,
you don't even have to buy good ones. There's no law about that.
He's like, hey, Hobie, can you stop by the crib, bring them rings over?
Yeah.
We got to go pretend like we got married today. Okay,
you think
word.
Customs has a bunch of ring experts? Hey, Phil, I don't think this is a very nice ring.
Hey, Phil, have we seen this ring before? Where you guys getting the same ring, man? It's so crazy. Like the 7th person came here with this ring.
This must be a popular one. Shit, maybe I should get this
Philippines, one. Man, I guess they're cheap in the Philippines.
They love that one, huh? Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, from what I can tell based on the indictment, the followers brought into the United States were again mixed between those who existed purely to bring in money for the church and pastorals meant to service Apollo and some other members of the high brass of the cult on night duty. It is unclear to me if any of the girls he used in this role had been pastorals back in the Philippines. Extant information does suggest he largely recruited unaware female victims ranging in age from 12 to 25 by telling them they'd get a visa to live and work in the United States if they agreed to work as his personal assistants. Once they were stateside, their passports and money were taken away from them, their communication was monitored, and they were used as sex slaves for the Son of God. If they resisted, he threatened to have his most loyal followers beat them, or he would promise them eternal damnation. The indictment notes that pastorals who performed their duties to include night duty to the satisfaction of the defendant Quiboloy and other KOJC administrators were rewarded by defendant Quiboloy and other KOJC administrators with privileges, including trips to tourist destinations like Disneyland, flights in private jets, use of cell phones, and yearly monetary payments referred to as honorariums by administrators.
Honorariums, yep.
Disneyland!
Hey, but listen, you could go to Disneyland. What's crazy is you hear this stuff and it's like, as individual and unique and inventive a lot of these evil people are, there are also, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Like I'm just like, oh, this is the same old hustle. Like,
it's the same hustle.
It's like, I can promise you a better life in America if you just come and work for me. And then once you get here, it's a disaster. And if you don't work for me, you go into hell. Like, how you could drop that plot into every other country, India, everywhere. And it's like, it just sucks, man. Just preying on the poor who are desiring to make a better life. Yeah. And at the end of the day, you're just horny.
Yeah.
I hate how regular that is. I think it's the point I'm making.
This is always the case, right? Like, these are never, L. Ron Hubbard being an exception, there's never anything like, really, when you get down to it, it is like it's always the most venal, gross version of it, right? They are all like Jeffrey Epstein, this man who, clothed himself in this, like, I'm this big donor to different sites. I hang out with all of these brilliant men. I'm one of these members of our, like, our intelligentsia, really thinking about the future. And it's like, no, you're just a sex criminal, just a sex tourist who wanted the tourism to come to him, and that's all this guy is, despite dressing up, as the fucking Son of God, right?
Yeah.
And, to kind of make that point, female victims were ordered never to speak of night duty. Any attempt to leave or avoid service was met with violence. Apollo took to beating his pastorals if he caught them communicating with other men, a behavior he sometimes defined as innocent conversation. This, he claimed, was adultery and thus a sin. In 2002, we know that Quiboloy had sex with one victim, KF, who was 15 years old. In 2005, he had sex with another victim, KA, when she was 17, and asked specifically beforehand if she was a virgin. At times, he provided his victims with lingerie to wear or lotion to put on his body. He would explain to his pastorals, all of whom had come to him through his church, one way or the other, that it was God's will they perform night duty and that the Father is happy over what the Son is doing. That's all I'm going to cover in detail of that. There's one last thing, because I don't think we need to be exhaustive about this, but I don't want to gloss over it. And there's one more paragraph from that indictment that we do need to cover before we move on.
Yeah.
In or about 2009, defendant Salinas told victim R.E. that if victim R.E. was afraid to go near defendant Quiboloy, then victim R.E. had the devil in her. In or about 2011, defendant Quiboloy had sex with the victim K.P. when she was approximately 14 years old. In or about 2014, defendant Dan, who's one of the administrators, directed victim R.E. to purchase erectile dysfunction medication for defendant Quiboloy. Okay, that's probably enough.
Yeah.
That's
just want to make sure people know what he did.
Yeah, he's disgusting, and that's horrific. And
that's probably enough of that. So, now the big difference, we've talked about Epstein a lot. He's alive.
It's too bad.
But he's no, Sophie, you're going to be happy about where this goes.
I think this ends well. This
ends pretty well, you know?
Yeah.
Now, when it comes to the difference between this guy and Epstein, because I don't get a feeling the scale is actually all that different. These guys may have been like very similar numbers of, I think Epstein, maybe he did it for, although I don't know, these guys are actually kind of active similar periods of time. So Quiboloy probably was working a little longer than Jeffrey was. One of the big differences would be that Epstein seems to have used the girls he trafficked in order to broker favors and money. Maybe Apollo did that, but we don't have evidence that he did, at least in this country, right? Again, he's pretty tied in with like Duterte's sect in the Philippines, so maybe there is a lot more of that going. There's allegations of it. Yeah, it's just more will come out about this guy, right? Like that is kind of the thing. We just don't really know. Now, what gets him caught is that he's very sloppy on the financial side of things. Remember, the other half of his human trafficking operation is people being brought in as free labor to canvass for the church under the auspices of helping the children. Yeah. This generated a lot of cash, and Apollo was smart enough to know that keeping that cash in bank accounts U.S. officials could see was a bad idea.
Yeah. I was going to say, like, the forgetting that, like, you could pull this off in the Philippines, like, because you ain't got people, like, chasing down.
And you got a lot of friends. Yeah.
And you got a lot of friends and people not chasing down specific stuff like that. Yeah. Like here, we got time.
Oh, yeah. Rodrigo
especially when it comes to the money.
Yeah. Duterte does not have pull with the feds in the United States.
No.
So one of his lieutenants informed him that U.S. Customs allowed people to fly into and out of the country with under 10 grand in cash with no additional safeguards. As followers would return home, he would have them roll $9,000 in cash into their socks and place it in their luggage. Yep. Larger amounts of money were flown in bulk back home via the private jets that the church had amassed. Now, this is the kind of thing you can get away with for quite a while because none of the individual pawns are breaking any laws, and there's not really an incentive for the government to, like, it kind of seems like a bunch of Filipino people, because another thing, I'm sure a lot of Filipino people who like worked in the United States and return home also
they fly back all the time.
Yeah, with as much as they can. So it's the kind of thing like you're not going to notice this easily.
No, I made the joke earlier about like the balikbayan box, which the balikbayan translates to just like the ones who return. So like it's very normal that like when your aunts and uncles or whatever come from the Philippines, there's a box of stuff that you can't get here. You know what I'm saying? And then when that family member goes back, they do the same thing. They bring stuff that you can't get in the Philippines from America there. So it's a very normal thing to have, even like you said, like anybody who's traveled, you know, internationally that it says if you have anything over $10,000, you got to declare it. But if you got anything under that, that's fine. So even having cash in your balikbayan box, it's like that's not anything that would raise any concern. So yeah, you're right. Like, and also the fact that this is a well-known Pentecostal preacher, like we all know, they all got private jets. Like that's their thing. So like none of this is weird.
Right. Especially since like back in the Philippines where the money is actually going to be entering accounts. It's going to be turned from cash into like other forms of money. Like he's friends with, after 2016, the president, Duterte.
Yeah.
So he and his church are not going to get targeted for any of this.
Yeah, he's good.
And it's like this friendship with Duterte, comes in handy before he's the president, when he's just the mayor. One particular example of this came in 2008 when Apollo sought to purchase a 2-hectare parcel of land owned by a man named Datu Diarog, a local indigenous leader whose family land bordered the compound Apollo had purchased at the foot of Mount Apo. Okay. The KOJC first offered payments of varying size and then threatened to evict Datu and his family from their own land. After this failed, armed men raided the property 3 times, burning down several buildings. Eventually, they carried out a drive-by shooting, which killed Datu, wounded his wife, and killed their 4- and 8-year-old children. Now, Datu's widow put the blame on Apollo, who himself blamed the New People's Army, the militant wing of the Philippines Communist Party, which has been involved in a guerrilla war against the government for quite some time.
Yeah.
The communists blamed Apollo. And from what I can see, there's no reason that they would have murdered Datu and his family, and every reason to suspect that Apollo did, because he was trying to buy this parcel of land. And there's not really any evidence this guy was beefing with the fucking People's Front or whatever. Since this all happened on the outskirts of Davao City while Duterte was mayor, it's not hard to see why people suspect he played a hand in ensuring no proper investigation was ever concluded into the matter. If this is true, Apollo had a chance to pay his friend back with interest a few years later. In 2016, when Duterte announced his run for president, Apollo was one of the first men to back his candidacy, urging his followers to vote Duterte and putting quite a lot of money behind his campaign. Now, Duterte, being a mobster, did not forget this. When he won the election, Apollo's home was the first one he visited in person. The two ate together to celebrate the coming of this new regime. And for a few years, Apollo Quiboloy could rest easy knowing that nothing he did would bring legal consequences to him or his church, so long as Rodrigo held power. And that is going to lead us into some ads, Prop, because that's who holds power here at our podcast, is the sponsors of this motherfucking show.
Almost 30 years together, 4 kids, and some of reality TV's most unforgettable moments, we know a thing or two about living life out loud. We're taking you behind the scenes in our new podcast, Between Us, with me, Heather Dubrow.
And me, Terry Dubrow. Between Us isn't about perfect lighting or curated Instagram grids.
It's the unfiltered, behind-closed-doors conversations you wish you could eavesdrop on. Equal parts smart, funny, and a little bit scandalous.
Every week, Heather will bring you an unapologetic take on the headlines, the trends, and the cultural moments everyone's texting about.
And Terry will deliver insider beauty, health, and wellness insights you won't find on TikTok.
Together, we'll tell the stories, spill the secrets, and share the hacks that keep life, marriage, and everything in between feeling fresh and fun.
We may live in a gated community, but there's zero gatekeeping here.
And plenty of, did they just say that moments?
Listen to Between Us on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Segregation in the day, integration at night.
When segregation was the law, one mysterious black club owner had his own rules.
We didn't worry about what went on outside. It was like stepping in another world.
Inside Charlie's place, black and white people danced together. But not everyone was happy about it.
You saw the KKK?
Yeah, they was dressed up in their uniform.
The KKK set out to raid Charlie, take him away from here.
Charlie was an example of power. They had to crush him.
From Atlas Obscura, Rococo Punch, and Visit Myrtle Beach comes Charlie's Place, a story that was nearly lost to time. Until now. Listen to Charlie's Place on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Usually on This Podcast Will Kill You, we talk about the diseases, infections, and biological threats that can make us really sick.
But right now, we're doing something a little different.
We're stepping back and looking at what the human body needs to keep going.
When you consider what we know about sleep in humans, there's one rule that comes out. We are predictably unpredictable sleepers.
We're talking about why sleep works the way it does, why our bodies don't follow neat rules, and why modern life makes rest so hard to come by.
The second half of our series takes us to the digestive system with a multi-part series on what happens after we eat. Okay, I just have to say that all of my favorite words apparently are digestive words.
Sphincter, peristalsis, duodenum. It's fascinating, it's funny, and it matters so much more than you think.
Episodes of our new series run from January 20th through February 17th, with new episodes every Tuesday on the Exactly Right Network.
Listen to This Podcast Will Kill You as part of the Exactly Right Network on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Segregation in the day, integration at night.
When segregation was the law, one mysterious black club owner had his own rules.
We didn't worry about what went on outside. It was like stepping in another world.
Inside Charlie's place, black and white people danced together. But not everyone was happy about it.
You saw the KKK?
Yeah, they was dressed up in their uniform.
The KKK set out to raid Charlie, take him away from here.
Charlie was an example of power. They had to crush him.
From Atlas Obscura, Rococo Punch, and Visit Myrtle Beach comes Charlie's Place, a story that was nearly lost to time. Until now. Listen to Charlie's Place on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
You know Roald Dahl, the writer who thought up Willy Wonka, Matilda, and the BFG. But did you know he was also a spy?
Was this before he wrote his stories? It must have been.
Our new podcast series, The Secret World of Roald Dahl, is a wild journey through the hidden chapters of his extraordinary, controversial life.
His job was literally to seduce the wives of powerful Americans.
What?
And he was really good at it.
You probably won't believe it either.
Okay, I don't think that's true.
I'm telling you, the guy was a spy.
Did you know Dahl got cozy with the Roosevelts, played poker with Harry Truman, and had a long affair with a congresswoman? And then he took his talents to Hollywood, where he worked alongside Walt Disney and Alfred Hitchcock before writing a hit James Bond film. How did this secret agent wind up as the most successful children's author ever? And what darkness from his covert past seeped into the stories we read as kids? The true story is stranger than anything he ever wrote. Listen to The Secret World of Roald Dahl on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Oh, and we're back. Ooh. So, in the U.S., during the Duterte years, the legal climate grew markedly less friendly to the KOJC. In 2015, one of Apollo's followers in Hawaii had fled a church compound and reported to the authorities that they had been trafficked, beaten, and forced to have sex with Quiboloy. This person claimed to have been forced into a re-education camp, which she described as a concentration camp, where they shaved her head and tortured her when she decided to leave. And I really would like to know more about this concentration camp. He was apparently operating in Hawaii.
That is bonkers.
Yeah.
I did not know.
That would be good to get some additional context on.
Yeah, somebody tell me more about that.
Yeah. As is often the case, it was her word against his and the church's. And the church claimed in return that she was only attacking Apollo because she had gotten kicked out for molesting a minor, right? So they're like, no, she's the pedophile, right? Local prosecutors looked into the issue. They attempted to make a case, but they gave it up in 2019. However, the FBI had gotten tipped on to Apollo at this point, and I'm not precisely sure what it was that got them on, if it was just that case, that local case that got dropped, or what. But in 2018, they raided one of the cult's private jets before it could take off from California to Manila. They caught Apollo and one of his female aides with $300,000 in cash and rifle parts. So Apollo gets taken into custody. Rifle parts, yeah.
Wow, okay.
Apollo gets, that's an ITAR violation. Right there. So Apollo gets taken briefly into custody, but his assistant pled responsibility for the money and gun parts. So she's like, hey, look, it was mine, right? And once they've done that, you're kind of fucked unless you have proof that they were lying, right? So he gets let go, and he takes a private flight back home to the Philippines and is like, guess I can't go to the U.S. no more.
Well, I gotta lay low for a little bit, guys.
I'm not gonna get Epstein the way he got Epstein.
Yeah. Like, I watch the news too.
No. That's all I need to see. So at this point in the U.S., a local and a federal investigation had both failed to bring Apollo down. But he was, again, smart enough to know that, I just can't travel freely anymore. So I'm going to stick to my compound near Mount Apo. So while he's doing that, continuing to preach, living it up, in 2020 and 2021, the FBI finally filed an indictment against Apollo and several of his chief lieutenants. And that's what I've been quoting from several times in these episodes. Now, there are raids on several church properties in the United States, but so long as Apollo remained in the Philippines, he could count on the protection of his allies in the government. He even had the church flex its muscles to get a Filipino prosecutor to charge the Hawaii News Now, who reported on the case with criminal libel in the Philippines.
Jesus Christ.
I think they're probably going to be okay on those charges now, but thank God.
Yeah.
Sure, they were sweating them.
They're like, wait.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Filipinos in Hawaii too, so I can see how he's got homies over there. This is somewhat of a side note, but part of how I got radicalized for real was like in college. And so this Filipino girl, I think she teaches at SFC. I can name her because she's such a G. Her name's Irene, right? And she was a few years older than me. I had no idea like that the type of guerrilla warfare of freedom fighters, that the way that was how it was like they was really about it in the Philippines. And we was in college. She was the first person to tell me I'd be good at poetry. And I just had such a crush on her because I'm like, really? You think so? You know what I'm saying? So like, I totally started doing poetry, but I say all that to say, at some point, she shaved her head and she moved to the Philippines to like fight in with the guerrillas. You know what I'm saying?
That's awesome. Yeah.
She's
hell yeah.
Like, and I was like, she little 5'0" like, and Irene knows I'm like, we're adults now, but I just thought she was smoking hot and like the coolest girl I've ever met, that I was just like, this little like, yo, I'll follow you into the jungles. Like, where are we going? I'm with you. You know what I'm saying?
I'm ready.
I'm ready. Let's go. Give me, you know what I'm saying? Give me my barong and let's go, right?
Oh, no, you call your friends ride or die. I'm sorry. That's not what that word means.
Yes, exactly. And I was like, okay. Anyway, I got put onto like all that, like when you were talking about, there was this like guerrilla insurgents, this communist thing. I was like, oh, wait. Like my homegirl went, you know what I'm saying? Went to Ayala High School. Sophie, like from Chino. Like, you know what I'm saying? She was from Chino, and then we went to school in Fullerton and broke out, and I was like, yo, you have talked. I'm telling you, like, she's part of why I got radicalized. Was like, and this with a Filipino stepmom, like, not even knowing all this was happening. You feel me? Like, she lit it up, dude. Yeah. Anyway, that's an aside, but I need to shout out Irene. Comrade,
shout out Irene, and not a shout out to Apollo, who at this point is safely live streaming, his video sermons from Mount Apo, which the church had renamed Glory Mountain, on his YouTube program, Powerline. Which is
that is
the
quite
name,
sexual.
Isn't Powerline the name of the pop star from the Goofy movie?
Yes.
It is. Okay, that's good. I'm choosing to believe that's his second career, that he found Jesus after like maybe getting too addicted to cocaine and he moved to the Philippines. That's where I'm on about Powerline. Yeah, according to the Goof Troop. Yeah, that seems like where Powerline would have gone.
Yeah.
Now, the situation didn't start to change until Rodrigo Duterte announced his intention to step down at the end of his term in 2022. I think he had to, but everyone was kind of wondering, is he just gonna like stay, right?
Yeah.
This likely, the fact that he ultimately doesn't push the matter probably had something to do with the fact that there was an ongoing ICC investigation over his war on drugs, which had killed at least 6,000 people, but is believed to have led to tens of thousands of deaths. So Duterte was ultimately succeeded by what should have been a friendly regime to Quiboloy, the son of the former dictator, Ferdinand Marcos Jr., better known as one of the great world leaders' names around right now, Bong Bong Marcos. That's a name. That's a good name
hard.
for your president to have. I'm sorry.
Listen,
I'm sorry.
That's hard. Yeah, listen. President Trump shooting his fist up with the blood coming out his ear, talking about fight.
Bong could take him. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm saying that's hard as hell.
That's
what
I'm
saying.
Need.
So a name like Bong Bong, yes.
That's a 350 EV sweep, my friend.
Yes. You win.
So Bong Bong becomes the president alongside Duterte's daughter as his VP. So again, you could be forgiven for being like, well, Nothing's gonna happen to Apollo with these folks in charge,
I'm
right?
fine.
Fucking Marcos's kid and Duterte's kid.
It's fine.
Alliance of the failed children. My God. So now that said, if you actually knew anything, and I don't, but this is what people who know things about Philippine politics say, like if you knew anything about the political alliances in the country, this alliance was always going to collapse, right?
Yeah.
And it sure as shit did. Here's how the AP describes the start of the breakdown. Marcos reversed Duterte's pro-China stance and pivoted back to the United States, granting Washington greater access to Philippine bases amid China's assertiveness in the South China Sea and near Taiwan. He brought to the fore a 2016 arbitral ruling fortifying Manila's territorial claims in the South China Sea, which Duterte largely set aside in a move seen as directed at China, which has overlapping sovereignty claims in the South China Sea. Marcos also sought to revive peace negotiations with communist rebels, which his predecessor had scrapped, in which Sara Duterte has described as an agreement with the devil.
Yeah.
So that's not just a conflict with the previous admin, that's a conflict with his own VP.
Yeah.
All of this should have been taken by Apollo as a sign that his time enjoying immunity and state protection might be nearing an end. Apollo had always been a ferocious anti-communist, dating back to the first Marcos regime, and the fact that Bong Bong is now like, hey, let's talk to these people, not a great sign for you.
Danger, Will Robinson.
Probably a good sign for the Philippines, but not for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
As the situation between Duterte and Marcos degenerated, Marcos started talking about rejoining the ICC, a move calculated entirely to fuck with Duterte, who'd withdrawn the Philippines once the ICC started investigating him. The breakdown eventually culminated earlier this year in both men accusing each other of being addicted to drugs.
He on drugs.
Look,
that's all it is. He on drugs.
He's high as hell.
He just high.
It's nice to know that like there's at least one other country that's right on our level, you know.
Yeah.
Us, the Philippines, the US, and the United Kingdom, all
just messy,
all more or less sitting in the muck together.
Yeah, just messy as shit.
Yeah. Ireland walks by and flips us all collectively a coin. The U.S. prosecutors... Yeah.
That's funny.
U.S. prosecutors had been among the many, many, many observers who recognized that the political alliance between Duterte and Marcos wouldn't last, and that its collapse would put Apollo Quiboloy at significant risk. In December of 2022, the U.S. Treasury Department sanctioned Quiboloy and accused him of serious human rights abuse, including pervasive rape of girls as young as 11. No action was taken at this. Pervasive. Not a great word with rape.
Not to put in front of rape.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No good word to put in front of, except for, I guess, none. But you wouldn't say it that way. Anyway, no action was taken at this stage, but earlier this year, as the alliance crumbled entirely, a Philippine court was given the go-ahead to order Quiboloy arrested on suspicion of child sex abuse and human trafficking. Now, I have mentioned a few times in this episode how very American in styling Apollo is, and one of his many inspirations seems to be friend of the pod David Koresh. As soon as the government came after him, Quiboloy went to ground, locking himself in the underground bunker complex he had built in his mount. He built underground bunkers! Oh, man. You know, again, I'm just hoping this place is for sale soon.
He is, when I tell you, like, late 90s, early 2000, like,
speaking of Powerline,
Pentecostal, like, what's the word I'm looking for? The name it and claim it guys. Like, why can't I think of the name of what they was? Prosperity.
Prosperity gospel guys.
Yeah, very much prosperity gospel. And you remember they was into selling the Y2K stuff.
Sure.
They were selling bunk. I'm like, you are hitting every note. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you got a bunker in the Philippines? Bro, like, you've been taking notes,
you are hiding in tunnels.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Wow.
So as he hid in his tunnels, he told his followers the devil had orchestrated all of his problems. A write-up by NBC News describes what happened next. About 2,000 Philippine police officers surrounded the property. They were backed up by hundreds of soldiers as riots erupted among congregants who rallied to defend their leader. According to local media, more than 600 police officers were injured in violent clashes with church members who protested Quiboloy's innocence. One member died of a heart attack during the initial raid.
Wow.
Police said they would not leave the compound without Quiboloy, who said he would not be caught alive. For days, the standoff
Cool
raged as
guy.
K. Yes,
Lolo.
K.
You gotta chill, Lolo.
He's about to. For
Yeah.
days, the standoff raged as KOJC followers lined the streets to act as human barricades to keep the police out. For their part, Filipino authorities were unable to locate Quiboloy in any of the main buildings of the compound and had to resort to the use of ground-penetrating radar, with which they
Jesus
eventually found his heartbeat.
Ground penetrating radar. That's
They
some
used
that's
radar
scary
to
as
catch
hell.
his ass.
It's like
They
it's all
found
good.
his heartbeat
They
underground.
listen. Just when it ain't safe in these streets,
Oh,
my dog.
man,
Like that is
man.
hilarious.
Where
you got
have
all
we
these
gotten-
armed SWAT dudes, and
Look.
one nerd in the back is like, "Hey, guys, relax.
Yeah.
Go get some coffee. I'll
We'll
find him right now.
his heart.
There
Look.
you go, right there. How you know? I can hear his heartbeat.
I'm not coming to bat for the sex criminal. I'm not. But I will
No.
say, where are we as a society when a cult leader can't even hide in underground tunnels without the authorities using ground-penetrating
Police state,
radar?
bro.
Is that the police state we want to live in? You know?
Big brother, man.
I don't know.
Like
I don't know.
I'm not with that. Yeah, I
don't
feel
know.
you, man. Like the
I don't
police
know.
got too much power, dog.
Mhm. I think the police should have to raid those tunnels, you know, but like fucking tunnel rat stuff, like
Yeah, tunnel
Vietnam
rat.
era
Like, you
shit.
gotta be a tunnel
Give
rat,
them a
like-
fucking 38 revolver and a knife and have them
Earn
crawl
it.
the fuck in there, right?
Earn
Catch
it.
the son of a bitch, you know?
Yeah, earn it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't
right,
get no patch
right.
for this. You don't get no
Yeah.
tres puntos for that, fool.
Exactly. I think we're on the same page here. Now,
For sure. Earn it.
this is obviously, just hearing that, you can see like, well, I see why people were worried this was going to end in tremendous bloodshed. This does seem
Yeah.
like the kind of situation.
Yeah.
This is the kind of situation. This could have gone a lot worse than it did.
Yes, facts.
But after about 2 weeks of this shit, Apollo and several of his top people surrendered to the authorities, and they are currently in custody. At this point, it is too early to say how the situation's going to pan out. Quiboloy seems like he's dead to rights. After his prosecution in his home country, he should be extradited to the United States, which has more than enough dirt to put him away forever if the Philippines does not. That said, we're talking about a connected man in a country with a lot of corruption. Duterte's daughter, the VP, has been publicly attacking Bongbong's administration, which she's a part of, over Apollo's arrest. It's not impossible that he fucking makes something happen here, right?
That he skates in the Philippines, at least.
Yeah. I don't think that's likely. I think he's probably fucked. But, you know, I've been wrong before. So I'm not going to say definitely, you know, keep an eye on this bad boy. While he is locked up, the church itself has wasted no time launching a media blitz to try and defend the Son of God's conduct. They put out a statement on the alleged human trafficking within the kingdom, which makes what I would describe, Prop, as a flawed argument. Quote, "In the kingdom of Jesus Christ doctrine, your freedom of choice is the highest form of human rights exercise. And in the KOJC, we uphold this rule in everything we do as a corporate body or as an individual member. That's the reason why the kingdom are the happiest in what they do and believed to die for, as they were not forced to do anything against their will. One of the cardinal rules in the kingdom of Jesus Christ, which is the most important of all rules, is your freedom of choice or your freedom to choose. In exercising this rule, it means you cannot be forced or allow yourself to be forced to do anything against your own will, no matter what. So that means anything you do or anything that happens to you is your own voluntary will or choice. We believe in free will so strongly that anything that happens to you is something you chose. So if a bad thing occurs, that's on you."
That was your choice. When
It's
you
amazing.
did,
Amazing.
It was cool until you said, "And that happens to you." Like anything you choose and things you didn't choose.
We're going there, huh?
Yeah, like wait, what? Like yeah, totally. Like did you
By
hear what
being
you just
alive,
said?
you accept it's your fault if I fuck with you, you know?
Yeah, I mean that's your choice. You joined the kingdom.
Yeah. Now, I don't think I'm not an expert on the law in the Philippines, right? I'm going to tell you that right now, Prop. I will say I don't think that's holding up at a U.S. court.
Fam, yeah. They'd be like, get out my face with that bullshit.
Yeah,
Like,
not even Florida.
Yeah, like, come on, guys.
I do hope that Apollo takes some comfort from the fact that while his own legal situation might be dire, he at least has friends. And, Prop, that's really what it's all about. Is,
right?
No
How
matter,
many of us
we're
have
all
them?
going to have ups and downs, right? Having friends is really what matters in your time of need. And I want to read to you a very funny quote from an April 3rd, 2022 article by The Inquirer.
Okay.
Duterte, it's a Philippines paper.
Oh, word.
Duterte yesterday said that he offered to be the administrator of the KOJC properties to unburden his friend of its day-to-day operations. The present rumblings, I would say, would maybe distract the pastor with the day-to-day operation. It was I who offered, pastor. In the meantime, you're trying to figure out the things that you're going to do or say regarding this present whatever. I will run things for now, Duterte said during an interview with bloggers. Duterte, however, specifically requested that he be left out of the financial side of the group's operation. Let me focus on the properties to see to it that it's preserved well for the congregation.
Hey, man, I'd love to take this off your hands, bro. Like, don't even worry about it. You got so much on your plate, homie. I'll handle that. Y'all can still do the money thing. I'll just handle it.
It's such gangster shit. Here's the last two sentences of that quote.
I love it.
Duterte also explained that he was chosen by Quiboloy because of their friendship. Why me? Because I'm his friend, he said. Duterte said he used to have his firearms serviced by a guy who was living behind the church of Quiboloy in the city's slum area. That's how he says they met. I was having all my guns worked on. Met this guy in the slums. Anyway, I should take the buildings.
Hearing that last statement makes me more be like, oh no, you're not getting away with this. You gonna stay in jail.
You are fucked.
There's nothing you can pull. If he was like, hey bro, don't worry about it.
Buzzards are picking at you, bro.
They done already divided your estate among the homies.
That is not a good sign.
Yeah, nah,
my
bro,
friend.
you staying in jail, homie. They putting you up under the jail, dog. If he talking about, hey man, hey look.
Mm-hmm.
Don't worry about it. I'll take care of your property.
I got your back. I'll keep
bro.
an eye on this stuff. No,
Hey,
you're
dog.
definitely gonna get out. You won't be in prison forever, for sure.
Hey, I'll
bro.
hold this for you. Hey, homie, you listen. Somebody look. When you go to jail, Robert, for all the crimes you have said on this podcast,
you call them crimes. I call them crimes too. But yeah,
I'm just saying when you do, and if somebody says you're doing 15 years. Robert, don't worry about it. I'll take care of your wife.
That's
she's not your wife no more.
That's
whoever
right.
This,
that's right. That's right.
This is a fictitious wife.
But you know, Prop, they are my tunnels beneath my house, and I'm going to tell you one thing: I'm not leaving just because some cops have radar. Prop, I got gas masks. I got air filters. I'm staying in the tunnels. Never leave the tunnels.
I am absolutely figuring out how to get my entire family to your house when this goes down. And I feel like
lots of tunnels.
We'll be fine.
Honestly, Prop, more tunnels than the city says I'm allowed to dig under my house. Could be a problem when that quake hits. This might not be a great place to have tunnels.
Maybe not. Yeah, actually, maybe not. Think about
maybe
it.
not.
Yeah.
That's where faith comes into the picture, my friend. That's where faith comes into the picture.
Hopefully, you are also chosen by God and saw the cloud by day. The
we
Lord
will
spoke
learn
through the
when
cloud.
the quake hits.
I didn't get to mention that too. Like the another note he's hitting is, when Moses went to the top of the mountain to get the 10 Commandments, he went into the cloud. And that's where God spoke.
Okay.
So when he came down from the cloud and he saw the rest of the children of Israel partying with the golden calf, this is all
right.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I
he
keep
came
one
out
of those
of the
in
cloud.
my yard. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. So like that. So I forgot that I was going to mention that. Like, yeah, he's hitting all the notes. He's basically saying, take every Sunday school lesson you learned about when God spoke and that all those things happened to me. Yeah.
Well, Prop, got any pluggables to plug?
Yeah. So if you're in LA, the Park's Finest is a Filipino barbecue spot. I just figured at least enjoy. For all that this man has done to the Pinoys, let's figure out how to support them. So go download anything from beat rock music, Bamboo, Rocky Rivera, and then listen to my podcast, Hood Politics with Prop, and hear some music, hear some poetry, and please, man, continue to support us. But Hood Politics for Prop, man. We got some heaters coming up too.
Yep.
Listen to Hood Politics, pick up Prop's book Terraform, and also, as we have been recording this, the information has come in about the fucking apocalyptic flooding as a result of the goddamn hurricane, Helena or Helene? Honestly, I've just seen it written so far. Helen? Is it just Helen?
I don't care.
There's an E at the end, so I feel like it's Helena or Helene.
She sucks no matter who she is.
I mean, this is not her fault. This is our fault for our hubris.
Are bad. Yeah.
But anyway, it's really fucked, specifically North Carolina a lot. It's not the only place, but like Asheville is, I mean, I'm hoping it's not as bad as shit looks right now, but like there's a sign on I-40 I've seen a picture of that just says "Do not travel" in Western North Carolina. So we are raising money for disaster relief, mutual aid disaster relief, working to help people in Asheville right now. Their PayPal is mutualaiddisasterrelief@gmail.com. Their Venmo is mutualaiddisasterrelief. You can also go to actionnetwork.org/fundraising/mutualaiddisasterrelief. We will have these links along with the sources in our show notes, so check them out. Anyway, sorry if you're in North Carolina. Good luck.
Behind the Bastards is a production of Cool Zone Media. For more from Cool Zone Media, visit our website, coolzonemedia.com, or check us out on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. Behind the Bastards is now available on YouTube. New episodes every Wednesday and Friday. Subscribe to our channel, youtube.com/@BehindTheBastards.
Hi listeners, I'm Anna Sinfield, the host of The Girlfriend Spotlight, and I've got some great interviews coming your way. I'm also excited to tell you that you can now get access to all episodes of season 1, 2, 3, and 4 of The Girlfriends, and every single episode of The Girlfriend Spotlight 100% ad-free, and 1 week early through the iHeart True Crime Plus subscription, available exclusively on Apple Podcasts. Plus, you'll get access to other chart-topping true crime shows you love, like Betrayal, Paper Ghosts, Piketon Massacre, The Brothers Ortiz, What Happened in Nashville, Hell and Gone, The Godmother, and more. So don't wait. Head to Apple Podcasts, search for iHeart True Crime Plus, and subscribe today.
This is Ryder Strong, and I have a new podcast called The Red Weather. In 1995, my neighbor, Anna Trainer, disappeared from a commune.
It was nature, and trees, and praying, and drugs.
So no, I am not your guru.
And back then, I lied to everybody.
They have had this case for 30 years.
I'm going back to my hometown to uncover the truth. Listen to The Red Weather on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
You know Roald Dahl. He thought up Willy Wonka and the BFG. But did you know he was a spy? In the new podcast, The Secret World of Roald Dahl, I'll tell you that story and much, much more.
What?
You probably won't believe it either.
Was this before he wrote his stories? It must have been.
Okay, I don't think that's true.
I'm telling you, the guy was a spy.
Listen to The Secret World of Roald Dahl on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Then she says, have you seen a photo of my son? And I'm like, who is this person?
Welcome to the Boys and Girls Podcast. Arranged marriage is basically a reality show, and you're auditioning for your soulmate. And who's judging? Only your entire family. I sacrificed myself to this ancient tradition, hoping to find love the right way. And instead, I found chaos, comedy, and a lot of cringe. Listen to Boys and Girls on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey everyone, it's Emily Simpson and Shane Simpson from the Legally Brunette podcast.
Each week, we're bringing you true crime through a legal lens.
Whether you want all the facts on the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie, or you still need to wrap your head around the Diddy verdict, we're breaking it all down step by step.
And we're not just lawyers, we're also husband and wife. It makes for some pretty entertaining episodes.
Listen to Legally Brunette on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
This is an iHeart podcast. Guaranteed Human.